thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today I am getting ready with you guys. That is makeup and hair. Talk to you about my friend's wedding. Jacqueline Ilmoka? No, Jacqueline Smith. She is now Jacqueline Smith. And Joshua Smith. Basically, behind the scenes footage, insights, things that happened to the build up of the final day, or shall I say final days, lessons learned as a bridesmaid and as a friend. So yeah, let's do this. Jacqueline Damilola Ilimoka got engaged to Joshua Smith in February 2021. So this wedding was planned in under 7 months. For what usually happens, I think that is a very small amount of time. Typically people take about a year, people take about 2 years, some people even 3. The kind of wedding she managed to achieve in this space of time, they did well. They did very, very, very well. The weddings, I say weddings because there was what would be called as a registry, but it was in a church, and then there was a traditional, and then there was the white wedding. So technically there were 3 events. After Jackie got engaged, she obviously selected her bridesmaids. She had 6 bridesmaids, including myself. She planned 3 major events basically within about 6-7 months. So basically what they had to do is to go and get married in a church, because a church that is registered to legally process and register marriages is the only building that would allow you to use any religious text like scripture, referencing or mentioning God, singing hymns or singing gospel or singing worship, praise and worship, right? So basically they had a church wedding, and after that day they went for a meal. It was very intimate. I wasn't there. After that they checked in to consummate the marriage. And I think, yeah, you could say that was part 1. That's when they were officially married. And even that, it was very exciting actually. Oh my god, like look at this lace, please. Like, can you even see it? What you can see is glue from the spray. Like, this lace is damn good. Damn good. Part 2 is the traditional, the trad, commonly referred to as. She's Nigerian, and similar to my culture as a Zimbabwean, there is a traditional ceremony where the boy comes to the girl's family and says, yo, I've seen a bird, I've seen a beautiful somebody in here, and I want to come and get her. And the ceremony is pretty much, it's organized in the sense that the girl's family is sat and they have a person speaking on their behalf. That person speaking on their behalf is kind of giving the other family a hard time in the name of prove yourself, show that you are capable of taking our daughter. But it's all bands, like it's all fun, it was lovely, and his family as well were like down for it and were so involved, and they just looked so like intrigued by everything. It was so cool. The job of the spokesperson for the girl's family is to give a hard time to the groom. A lot of things involve, oh, you've done this, drop money. Oh, you've done this, drop money. Put money here, like there's just little fines. And then it's similar to the Zimbabwean culture, you pay bride price. Our bride price is like a big deal, but in the Nigerian culture, it's not as much. So basically we did the trad, and to the build up of the trad, my responsibility was to find us a tailor, or to find us something that has hints of purple, because that was kind of the theme. Purple, hints of purple, or something outrightly purple, any shade of purple. And we looked and looked for somebody who has something ready made. Of course, the biggest challenge was it's 6 of us, and trying to find someone who's got stock for 6 dresses in our sizes was the biggest challenge. So then we opted to have the dresses tailor-made. We had 3 dresses that we needed to be made. The first one, the purple dress, that was made by Lydia Black through the help, connected through Janded for me, because Janded stock dresses that are beautiful, but she didn't have the colors we wanted, and she offered to help me because she didn't have it in her shop. She offered to help me to go and source material and have them made. So she asked for everyone's measurements, like thinking back, that's such a big deal because I approached several people and they just said, sorry, we only have this in stock, and they just stopped there. But Chichi went all the way. She went all the way. So I really, really, really appreciate that. Like, I really appreciate that. Whilst this was happening, I was in charge of finding or helping to shortlist the cake vendors. And my God, the prices I was hearing, and of course Jackie as well and Josh, their budget, like they were on the same page as me. Like, I'm not trying to spend that much for cake. Like, people spending the thousands for cake, and for me that doesn't sit well with me. It's dough and sugar. Whilst I appreciate it's a craft and people master their crafts and it takes time and all of that, some of the prices I was hearing were crazy. And then we went through a whole cake tasting process, and I was about that whole supporting Black businesses. And then thank God we did a tasting, because the girl that I was really rooting for, her cake wasn't nice. Like, it was apparently not moist enough, and also all the flavors tasted the same. That was the feedback, and I was shocked. I eat cake pretty much every day, and my standards for what is good and what is bad in terms of cake, like, I'm your girl. So if you need a professional cake vendor hunter, that's now me. Like, that's now my other job. Long story short, with this whole cake business, the last thing on your mind that day is cake, honestly. And you spend, yes, it sits there whilst the whole ceremony is going on, but you spend about 10 minutes on it, slice, feed each other, and then you move on. I didn't even eat it. I didn't even get a slice because so much was going on, because we were changing, we were taking pictures, we were doing so much. Whilst you want to have a cake, will I spend in the thousands? I don't know. I do not know. So as for the trad, it came, it happened beautifully. One thing I really admired was how peaceful it was, how simple it was. It was done in her back garden, so she saved a lot of money on venue and catering and DJ and what's it called, whatever else, because technically usually that's a whole ceremony in itself, that's a whole wedding in itself, because more cultural people that don't consider the white wedding the wedding until a trad has happened, and then there's vice versa. So for the culture, for the people, for the family, both had to happen, right? The trad, honestly, was beautiful. It was peaceful. It was to the point. It was fun. It was so entertaining. It was so pleasant because everyone there it was like 40 people max. It was so sentimental because each person was handpicked. There was no plus ones at that day. And it was an enjoyable day. Like, it was genuinely fun, even for us bridesmaids, although we had things to do. It was very, 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 very enjoyable. Let's go back to those dresses situation. This idea of outsourcing to Nigeria in the name of saving costs. Because we had this mindset that if we go to Nigeria, it's going to be cheap. And on the face of it, it is. But then if the dress comes, firstly, let's say it's delayed, you need to have a backup. We didn't have that issue, but some of the dresses came just in the nick of time. For me, my dress, it cost me £69 to fix it. Like, I'm having to spend whatever I've spent on buying the material in Nigeria, and then because you didn't do a good job, I now have to pay someone else to fix your job. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is the costs for when things do not work out, when you make a dress in Nigeria or anywhere else for that matter, you need to keep that in mind. That would be my lesson taken from there. Going to outsource does not equal an automatic saving. And it does not mean you're not going to need to spend some money fixing. So you need to have that in mind. And also, if I may add, my dress came burnt. And when we asked her, like, what happened? Like, the dress came burnt. She said, we send our apologies. Babe, I'm not going to wear an apology. Honestly, this idea of going to Nigeria for cost-saving reasons, make sure you know who you're dealing with. After all is done and said, the fixing, the traveling, the stress, you may be better off just getting a local tailor, because it might amount to about the same if or a little bit more, but then it's less hustlesome, and you can do a try on, and then that same person can fix whatever the issue is. One of the bridesmaids, when she went the second time, she didn't try on the dress. Girls, don't do it. Don't trust your tailor to that extent that you leave without trying it on the second time. Don't do it. It was funny, but it wasn't funny. We were now changed. This is the gold lace dress, by the way. Ironically, the orange dress fit perfectly, I believe, for her. It was like really good. The gold lace dress, it didn't fit at the top. The top was too loose. Literally, we had to turn it into a halter neck style with the band that was supposed to hold it at the waist. This is now like 10 p.m. and we are walking around looking for needle and thread, looking for safety pins to be able to do what we can to this dress. We find needle and thread and safety pins. We're walking back to our room to go and, do what we need to do. And Emanuela accidentally drops the needle, and this place is full of pebbles. We were there with our torchlights looking for this needle. Like, in hindsight, it's funny, but in the moment, it was like, oh my God. Of course, we didn't find it. But, anyway, we did what we could. We salvaged the dress as much as we can. We thank God it didn't fall apart through the night because there's a lot of dancing. Speaking of dancing, oh my days. Oh my good God. The boys, we were laughing, my guard was down. We heard they were doing dance rehearsals on Zoom, and we were like, Zoom, you're doing dance rehearsals on Zoom. Technically, I want to say, only had 2 good dancers in their team. Because of that, we were like, yeah, we're good. But did they come through? Oh my gosh, they came through. The first dance we did, the walking in dance, was cool. It was fun. It was gentle. It was a teaser, right? We came with style. We left with style. We left style on the dance floor. What worked to our disadvantage in the second dance was our dresses were too tight. We were like noodles. We moved in one. The hip, the upper body, the bust, the head moved at the same time as the rest. And because the dress was so tight, Emanuela did our choreography, which was a really good choreography. It was just that we couldn't move. The dresses were so tight. They're so tight. We couldn't even sit down. My dress was so tight that I can't sit down, which is another thing about looking snatched, yeah? Tell your tailor you want to be able to sit. I mean, it's not that they didn't do it right. It's just that we all won't go to the tailor and say, I want it snatched. You won't be able to sit. And you will need help getting up, literally. What I will say is the vibe of the entire wedding was a vibe indeed. A lot of that, number one, is contributed to hand-picked guests. Because this wedding did not have plus ones, and you were there because you were invited, and you were invited because you genuinely were sentimental, played an integral part in the couple's life, or contributed something at some point in their life. So you really shared sentiment value, and you were genuinely there because you cared and you loved them. Because of that, the atmosphere of the entire wedding, literally, it was a vibe. I want to say this is the best wedding I've ever been to. I want to say that. What made it is the guests and then the MC. Mind you, I wasn't there the whole time. We missed the speeches, we missed the first dance, we missed so many things because we had to go and change, and we had to go and tie gele. By the way, the gele lady, I found the gele lady. I don't know if you've ever met someone genuinely so gentle, so kind, and you can just feel from their aura that they don't think too much of themselves. They're just there to do what they need to do it in love, to do it just joyfully. And she was beautiful. I know that doesn't matter, but she's really beautiful. We had so much fun. Funny story about the gele. I almost had an accident on the way home. Why? It's 12:30 a.m. and I'm driving home. I literally just got on the road, 2 minutes into the road. It's dark, it's in the AM, so they switch off they switch off the lights in the motorway now. I don't know why they do that, but because the fact that they switch off the lights, when you look in the mirror, if there's no car behind you, it's pitch black. It is pitch black. I'm looking in the mirror like I can see something moving, and at this point I keep looking in the mirror to the extent that I'm driving in the middle of lanes now, and then all of a sudden I'm like, is there someone at the back? Oh no, I checked, like when I walked towards my car, I checked and I saw like the seats were flat, there was no one apart from a white suitcase. I'm looking again. At this point I'm like, guys, I almost jumped out of my car because I thought there was someone at the back seat. Meanwhile, it was my gele that I was seeing in the mirror. It would move gently and it was sort of mesh, and because there's no light, street lights, so it's pitch black at the back of my car. Like I almost dived out of my car because I was like, there's someone in my car. You know when your heart beats so fast you can hear it in your ears? That's how I almost jumped out of my car, running away from my gele. That's how tired I was. That's how off it, like I was, yeah. Girls, I'm talking a lot. Let me finish this face and then do a roundup of this video because it's gonna be too long. Okay, I'm back. So here's the look. I didn't tell you guys about the food. Oh my diddly days. Yes, I mean really nice. And somehow most African people believe that unless it's spicy, I know my boyfriend, if it's not spicy, it's not nice. And even he said the food was nice. It was so good. Everything was being made on site and you could see that this is really fresh. That, I mean, coupled with everything else, for you to also have good wedding food, like, what more do you need at this point? What more? All I have to say right now is Jackie and Josh, a big congratulations. You guys did so well, and I honestly pray for the most blissful, the most peaceful, full of love marriage for both of you. And I know it will be, because you guys are a beautiful couple, and you know, God's got you. As long as you keep God at the center of everything you're doing, through the convenient, the lovely, through the inconvenient, through the hard, through the easy. I'm so excited for your future, and I will be coming to get notes to learn when my time comes. Anyway, thank you so much for staying till the end. Congratulations, Jacqueline Smith and Joshua Smith.